Hey everybody, I hope you're all well and good. So last week I placed an order at a brand called prettylittlething.com, which is quite a popular brand here in the UK, and I thought that I would share with you my thoughts on this kind of mini haul and talk to you about like the sizing, the quality, the price of the items and how they look on, and basically just give you my thoughts on the things that I had bought. So without further ado, I'm just gonna dive right into the haul and I'm gonna show you the things, try them on, and give you my thoughts on the brand. Okay, so first up is this kind of paisley floral red and white dress. I thought that this looked really nice and would be very cute on vacation for going out for dinner. I am due to go on vacation pretty soon, so I know that I will get my wear out of these things, but it's just a shame I can't wear them now outside. So what we have is, we have long sleeves, they have cuffs and 4 little buttons at the bottom, we have a ruffle down here, have ruffles up here too, and we have a high neckline. This is going to come up about here, and you have a zip down near the back, and the ruffles continue on the back obviously, and the zip extends. One thing I will say that I've noticed about these clothes already is that the zips aren't that great, but we have a zip right down to near the bum here, so if you're concerned about the ease of getting in and out of it, I imagine that this dress is quite easy to get in and out of. So they didn't have my size in this one, so I ordered a size up. Because it's a dress and it's a summer dress, it doesn't really matter if it's quite loose fitting, especially since you've got like ruffles going on, and this is a kind of dress that doesn't have a lot of shape. It's not supposed to have a lot of shape, so it doesn't really matter if it is a bit baggier on you, and I can imagine that this will look cute with a belt as well if you want to accentuate your waist. So that's that in a nutshell. So I'm just gonna try this on real quick for you and tell you what it's all about. So this dress was one that I was really excited about because it looked super cute on the model, and I thought it'd be good for vacation. It fits well, it's just about long enough. If it was any shorter I'd be a bit concerned. So as mentioned before, we have the ruffle up here. We have quite a high neckline, however it is not bothering me in the slightest. What I like about this is that this ruffle sits just off the shoulder, so you do have a little bit of flare. So this dress is a big plus for me. I'm just going to add a belt around it again just to see what it looks like with a bit more definition to the waist. Okay, so with the belt we have a waist. Again, I do think that it stands out, the black against the red and white, so maybe a different colour would be more appropriate. The thing is, it does lift the dress slightly, so it is a tad bit shorter on the bum now, but still nowhere near the danger zone. I'm definitely not of a risk of showing my bum, which is perfect, so it gives you that kind of security when you're out in public that no cheeky bits are on show, so you're not giving anyone a free taste. Okay, so this is the next one. Gingham and big bell sleeves and ruffles are all really in right now, and I can't see them disappearing for autumn. I can see gingham, definitely I can see it staying for a while. If you can see, this has kind of like similar bell sleeves. This jumper's from Zara if anyone likes it, it's super soft. But we have these massive sleeves here. This is definitely like, it's not like a plain dress, even though it seems like it will be, because the sleeves are so big, it does draw attention to itself. What we have up top here is an elasticated band, and this is meant to go off the shoulders. I don't mind off the shoulder dresses, but I do find that they can get quite irritating after a while, because you can really feel them like, not digging, but you can definitely feel like the imprint on the skin. So I like it when these are a bit looser. This one I also got in a size 12 because it didn't have my size, but again it's the same kind of shapeless body as the other one, so I don't think that it really matters that you get, you know, an extra half an inch round the waist and hips. In fact, I think it'd be quite nice because it makes it light and airy for summer. One thing that I will definitely say is this material is incredibly see-through. It's cheap. When I hold it up to the light, I can't see right through it, but it is sheer, and that is through 2 layers, not just one. So you're gonna have to be careful with what underwear you're wearing here. Personally, I wouldn't wear a bra with this. My boobs are quite upright and they're not massive, so I can get away with not wearing a bra. I feel comfortable not wearing a bra in public, I don't really care. But I'll definitely be wearing some no seam knickers. I bought some from Primark the other day. They were like a pack of 3 for a £5 or something, so easily solvable. But if you are someone that doesn't like to take risks, with their clothing, you know, with the material, then I would avoid this. You get what you pay for. This, everything was pretty much about 12, maybe 15 pounds. You get what you pay for. It's not going to be excellent quality. It's probably not going to last me a very long time, but it's cute, it's on trend, and I thought they would do for the summer. Okay, so here we have the gingham dress. This was probably the dress I was most excited about because I don't own any gingham and it's been on trend for a couple of months now, and I've kind of been lagging behind the gingham trend, but I'm glad that I now have one piece. These wizard sleeves are pretty cool. I quite like them. This will be the kind of dress that I would wear on a date because I think it's cute. So I would have to be very, very careful of my food because I'm also quite a messy pup. Up top, again, I mentioned that this was in a size larger than I actually am, but up top it doesn't go much bigger. Up here it's not very forgiving. As you can see, there's no ruffle. If it was ruffled together, we'd have a bit more room. I don't consider myself broad for my size. I think I'm quite average. Like, my back size is in between a 32 and a 34 for my bra, so not massive. So I would recommend you ordering a size up, especially if you're in between sizes, maybe even 2 sizes up, because the sizing is pretty dodgy. What I want to do is just see how this looks with a belt, with a bit more definition on the waist, because I have ordered a size up. My waist it's small. It's definitely a size 10 waist, not a size 12 waist. So I just want to see if I can get a bit more shape out of this dress. Okay, so this is the dress with the added definition of a belt. This belt is from ASOS and it features a little heart-shaped buckle here. So again, it's fitting in with like date night. I think that this looks good, but the black might be too much of a contrast with the blue and white. I'm not too sure about it, so maybe brown or white belt would have been a bit more suitable, but I do like that we have a bit more definition for the waist here, so it's a bit more feminine, because we don't really have a lot of definition here. We don't have definition with the sleeves. We don't have anything tight here. We don't have much shape, so with the belt I think it looks very cute too, but I still like it without. So this dress slash blouse I got because I'm starting my MA in September, and I'm going to be living in central London, and it's a fashion journalism MA. So naturally I'm going to be quite concerned about the clothes that I'm wearing to class, and I'm just going to want to look presentable if I'm going to internships and things. What I really like about it is that it is plain and simple. It's a plain white shirt, so it's not really going to go out of style, but again we have these very, very accentuated ruffles that almost reminds me of like a Blair Waldorf kind of style. So this is very on trend. Again, the material isn't great. It doesn't feel particularly soft. It isn't sheer. I would say it's better than the previous item. However, because it is white, again, you kind of have to be careful with what you're wearing underneath, because anything is going to be super visible with this kind of material. This one I got in a size 10, so this is actually in my size. You can literally see right through this. I'm wearing white, no seam underwear. Pretty little thing, what the fuck are you doing? This is marketed as a dress, not as a blouse. If you're going to want to market this as a dress, make sure you can't see the person underneath the dress. Imagine showing up to work like this in this dress, or even as a blouse. My Primark bra is more solid of a colour than this dress. That is shocking. The thing is, if it was thicker, it would be nice. That's what's so disappointing. You had a good idea and you've not done it justice because you've copped out and you've used a shit material. Instead of using one that isn't even brilliant, you could have just used any decent material, literally anything else other than this, or you could have doubled up on this and you would have got yourself a product that you could have sold for 20 quid. Instead, you sold it for 10 and made it unwearable, so it's waste money. Let's try it with a pair of pants. Let's see if we can make it work. Okay guys, so I added on a skirt from Forever 21. This denim skirt I think was about £17. It was really affordable and it's very, very comfy, very flattering. I'd highly recommend Forever 21's denim skirts. And this is what the blouse looks like now. so it looks a lot better. I definitely would not wear it as a dress. But just a little note is that the tails of the blouse are coming down to past the denim skirt. So again, this is meant to be a dress. I'm definitely not shy when it comes to clothing and having my body on display. I don't think that anybody on earth should be ashamed of their body. But this is just, you just look cheap. But as a blouse, really like it, really like it. So I think what I'm gonna do, instead of sending this back because it was very affordable, I am just gonna chop a couple of inches off the bottom of it and just make it into a blouse that I just wear tucked in these items, and then I'm not going to be worried about the tails hanging out at the bottom. I do think that would also look cute with a pussy bow, so I'm going to try that on for you guys and see what that looks like. Okay, so before I was saying, you know, I was getting like Blair Waldorf kind of vibes, definitely getting them now with the pussy bow blouse, and I do really love that kind of almost Parisian, very ruffled, very over the top aristocratic dress that's kind of been filtered down through things like Gossip Girl and it's made its way into a wardrobe. So I definitely wear this outfit. I think it's pretty cute. The shoes that I would wear, either like mules, some sandals, ankle boots, you know, even a pair of like low top Vans would look cool in this if you want to dress it down, because obviously it's quite over the top and it's quite pretentious, I would say. So I do like this. I think it might be better with a nude bra on because again the bra is still quite visible, but it's not awful. This dress I've actually been wearing a little bit when I was in London and I really like it. It's a great day dress. So it's just this kind of washed out black and white stripe. We have a ruffle here at the waist. So where we've had ruffles before, they've been on the sleeves. Here we've got one on the waist, which is gonna give some shape, whereas the other dresses that I've shown you have all been very straight and very streamlined, so you're not gonna get much shape. I like the straps, there we go, completely brain farted. These are quite soft. Again, material is of the same calibre as the other items, but I haven't had any issue with this item, like when I've been wearing it out and about. One thing that I will say is that the top is quite tight, so I'm a size 10, but I have 34 double D breasts, so my boobs are, they're not massive, but they're a decent size. This one's quite tight. So if you're a size 10 and you have smaller boobs, like a C cup or below, you're going to be fine with this. If you have my size boobs or definitely any bigger, this is going to be too tight up the top for you. I don't wear a bra with this because it's too tight for me to wear a bra with it, especially anything with padding. So I would recommend buying a size up if you have bigger boobs and of the same kind of like stature as me. So guys, as I mentioned before, this dress I've been wearing quite a little bit because I think that it's very easy, very flattering, and just looks pretty cute, to be honest. I really like the ruffled waist. Again, this is the only dress I bought that adds shape to your body. It's not see-through. You know, black and white stripes have never particularly been in, but they've never particularly been out. It's just one of those classics, but this is probably the most stable favourite of everything that I've bought, so I'd recommend this dress to you. I realised that a lot of the things that I bought have ruffles and, you know, are quite decorative, but it is on trend right now, and I did want things that are not necessarily noticeable, but certainly not plain things, plain boring things, so I wanted to go for things that had a bit of pizzazz. So this top I got as well, and if you can see, we have bows on the top, and this comes in at the waist. It's falling off, and you kind of have a bit of a flare. Now it looks very disappointing on the hanger, like I don't think that this looks cute, but on the model it looked fantastic, so I'm excited to see what it looks like with a pair of high-waisted jeans. What I will say about this is that I do not think it's meant for girls with big titties. The reason being is that we have this material here that is completely unstructured. It's quite loose, so if you do have big boobs, you're going to have a lot showing here. This material is going to be moving when your boob moves when you're walking. So you either need a lot of titty tape, or two, don't get this, invest in something that's going to give you a bit more security. I'm just really like not too sure about this. I kind of think it looks like a baby's bib, and my boobs are going AWOL. They are, one's living in London, one's back up home in Manchester. They are just running off. Just how they made this top is baffling. So let's just make the sizes really odd. Let's put the one bow up here and one bow down here. Let's just make the top of this really high and then the bottom really low, but like the opposite on the front. What are you doing? Why are you selling this trash? Now, I just wanted to pop this dress in, even though it isn't from Pretty Little Thing, because I did buy it roughly in the same week. I think it was in the same week, and I thought that it deserved a bit of a shout out. So this is from a boutique store in London called Dahlia. For those of you who are familiar with Carnaby Street, it's just off of that opposite Brandy Melville. And this dress was £100 down to £20, so I got this for 20. The quality is amazing. I think, well, this definitely has shape. You can see comes out wider on the bottom as it does in the middle. We have kind of like this see-through stitching up here, which I thought was pretty, and you have kind of an embellished flower look, and it's a dark navy. Now the sizes in Dahlia are numbered sizes, UK 8, 10, 12. It was small, medium, large, which again is a bit more difficult to get your correct size. So a couple of things I tried on in a size small and they fit me really nicely, but I didn't like the look of them, so I didn't get them. This, however, fit better in a size medium, large. I would say that for my tall girls, it is quite short. It will come up quite short on you. It's not unnecessarily a dress that you could wear to the workplace. Okay guys, so this is the Dahlia dress that was £20. As you can see, it is quite short. It's a bit of a thigh grazer. Covers the bum, but again, only just. So it's quite a short little dress. I really like the sleeves because you have a bit of a range of motion up here. One thing I will say is that it's very tight up around the neck. Like I have this material digging in. So if that's something that really bothers you, it's bothering me, but not so much that I would never wear it, then that is a consideration that you'll have to make. I like the top, the embellishment is very nice. I like that you can kind of see some skin but not enough. You'll have to excuse the back because I can't zip it up all by myself. But the back, again, it is quite nice. And I think it accentuates the figure quite well. It goes in at the waist, it is quite flattering on the hips. One thing I would say is that it's not very forgiving when you're trying to get it on. This is a medium/large and I had to like suck it in to get over my thighs and bum. I am quite an hourglass figure, so my hips and my bum is quite wide, but I've never thought that I was a large. So that's kind of not very forgiving. Like I'm a size 10 and it's a large and I had to squeeze into it. So the sizing at Dahlia is kind of fucked up really. So I'm not really happy that their sizes aren't that great, because if I was any bigger I would not be fitting into any of their clothing, and I don't think that that's really acceptable. As it stands, this dress is very nice, the quality is high, it's definitely not see-through, and I'm happy. It was definitely worth £20. Would I pay 100 for it? No, I wouldn't pay any more than, I would say 25, pushing 30 if it was a bit more forgiving zipping up, but it isn't. So I like it, but full price, definitely would not recommend you buying anything from Dahlia at full price. Wait for the sale. Okay, so we had a couple of things in this haul that were complete trash, and the white see-through blouse, and everything else was either I really liked or was good for what I paid. So it's a mixed bag. Pretty Little Thing, you need to do better because you've really failed your customers with trash like this. So would I recommend you shop at Pretty Little Thing? Probably not. I'd advise that you go to other brands that are more consistent with their quality and their sizing and just the way that the garment is made. Of course, with online brands like this, the suppliers supply clothing to multiple different brands, so you're going to see the same things on Pretty Little Thing as you see on websites like Missguided, Misspap, yada yada yada. I would argue that Missguided is definitely higher quality, and I've never had a disaster like this with Missguided. So again, I think that these brands have too much competition for you to not be doing better than you are. So yeah, if anyone from Pretty Little Thing is watching this, you guys need to be doing better because your competitors are doing so much better than you. Would not recommend that you shop there immediately. If you do, keep the tags on, return things, because you can't be letting brands get away with this. And leave your reviews, leave your honest opinions on your blogs, on YouTube, because brands need to know that this isn't good enough, that they need to be changing. And you know, even if you think, well, Abby, you only paid £15 for that blouse, this is £15 that could be in my pocket rather than a big corporation. I'd rather it be in my pocket. Plus, they shouldn't be selling stuff like this. If it's so trash, they shouldn't be selling it. So this has been a mixed bag of comments, but I am a believer in second chances. Ask my exes, they'll say I'm a believer in second, third, fourth and fifth chances. So this isn't the last time that me and Pretty Little Thing are going to meet. I hope that they do a bit better, that they improve. Brands should always be improving. And I hope that I'm a bit wiser with my choices and think, actually, what have they done to that garment to make it look like that on the model? So yeah, excited about a few things, hate a few others. I hope that this was useful review for you guys. If you have any comments, sizing, material, price, any other brands that you want to know about that I can place an order at and try out for you, leave them in the comments down below and I will place an order whenever I have the disposable income to. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and I will see you guys next time. Bye!